All right, good day, scholars. This is the video to help you do the code for your My Learning Buddy application. So first off, we are on screen one here. This is your main screen. You got your logo here. You've got some intro stuff. We're not doing any real code for this. All we're going to have this do is the submit button will take them to the next page. So this is just for show, basically, for now, because it isn't a minimum viable product. The code for this screen, right, for screen one is for that button one, right? So button one, open another screen name, welcome screen. So go to control, or no, go to button one, grab button one dot clicked, go to control, grab, open another screen name, go to text, grab a blank text at the top, and then type in the screen you want to go to. In this case, it's called welcome screen without a space. I need to change this. This would not work, right? There's a space there, I gotta change that. And I would just type that into there, okay? And that's all you need. So I'm just, most of the app is done already. I'm just gonna kind of show you what it looks like, the code, and you can just copy it. So heads up on that. So let's go back to the screen one here. Next screen is the welcome screen. Again, we're not doing any real code for this screen. These drop-down menus will work, but they're not going to actually, we're not gonna put the code in to change the questions based on what they put into here. If we made the application for sale, right, we would do that, but that would take a long time. So we're just doing the minimum viable product. So we're gonna do this, just this button one. And what the code for that looks like is this, right? So when they click button one, it takes them to the quiz screen. Make sure it's exactly the same as your quiz screen, otherwise it won't work. And I just showed you how to get that, right? So button one, go to control, get the middle one, go to text, get that. You guys get the idea. The real code, most of the real code is on the quiz screen. So let's look at this. So you've got this quiz screen. First off, relabel these things. So question image, that's your image. Click on it, hit rename it question image, okay? This is the label, rename that one question label. So just hit rename and rename it question label, okay? We also have to rename the answer text box. So I just renamed that one answer text. So that's that one. I renamed the answer button. So click on that one and rename that answer button. Rename this label. So this is the correct label. So that'll tell them if they got it correct or incorrect. So relabel that one. And then we need to relabel the score label as well. So click on the score and hit rename and call it score label. And then finally the next button, click on that next question button, rename that to the next button, okay? And that'll help us with our code once we start doing that, which is right now. So like I said, I have the code finished. What you need to do first, before you do the code actually, let's back up here. For your questions, right, you can do these. So you guys probably did this yesterday or the day before, or whenever you're watching this video. You're going to initialize these global variables, and these variables are lists. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to variables, initialize global, name it question list, right? And then you're going to go to lists. You're going to make a list, attach that to there, right? Let me move over so you can see a little bit better. You're going to go to the text and you're going to grab some text boxes. All right, and I want you to have at least 5 questions. Click on the little blue thing, add 5 of these items to it, so you can have a list of 5. And you're just going to type in questions, right? So you can copy and paste these to give you some blank ones, and you're going to name this question list, just like I have here, right? This says question list 2 because I just made a second one as an example, but you're going to name it question list. You're going to put your questions, much like this, into these boxes. And then what you're going to do, okay, so what I would suggest, so I'm going to delete this because that's just an example, right? You're going to make an answer list, okay? And you're going to make it in the exact same way. If you really want to take a shortcut, if you have your question lists and your questions here, just click here, Control-C, Control-V, rename it answer list, and then you can empty all these out. All right. But what you're going to do with the answer list is you're going to make it, you know, the same format basically in code, but instead of putting the questions, you're going to put the answers. And it's important that the questions and the answers are in the same index, right? What that means is This is a list, right? This is a list. The index is the number at which the question is in the list, right? So this question right here is index 4 because it's the fourth question, right? This index 4 is this answer to question 4, right? So question 1, answer 1. Question 2, answer 2. Let me draw it out just in case, just to make sure, because this can get confusing. Can I do a squiggly? I can. So, oh, I don't want that. I don't want that. Why? Leave me. Oh, okay. Well, I'll just use the pencil. This and this go together, right? Another color. Question 2 goes to answer 2, so on and so forth. Okay. If that's confusing to you, send me a message on GoGarden or something. Send me an email, and I'll re-explain it to you. But the answers and the questions need to be in the same index. Speaking of these indices, I don't know what the word is. Boom, picture list. Your third variable here is picture list. You make it the exact same way you did the other ones, but here you're going to put in the file names for the pictures you want for each question. So in my case, I have my first question is, what food makes up nearly all of a giant panda's diet? The answer is bamboo, okay? And the picture that I want is panda.jpg. So what you need to do now is you need to find those files, all right? And you're gonna upload them to your media folder here. So let's just an example, right? So let's say I gotta find a picture of a panda, right? Panda picture. Try and find something that's kind of square, because if we look at your application, right, the space we have for the picture is squarish, kind of. Try not to get, something that's weird shaped. Let's go with this one. Oh my gosh, this one. Find it, Alt click on it, Control click on it, whatever you got to do depending on the computer you're on. Open image in a new tab, and save the image. When you save it, name it. Don't save it something like this. Okay, don't save it a bunch of crazy letters. Call it what it is. Panda. Save. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to our app. I'm going to upload that file. Clicky drag, boom. There it is. Hit OK. And the reason you want to make sure you name it something simple is because you're going to have to write that in the code. So in this case, right, panda.jpg, I have that uploaded in my media folder. If that was empty right there, which yours is empty probably, I would type in panda.jpg. Because question number 1 is about the pandas. The answer goes with question 1 in index 1 here for this list. And then the picture list, index number 1 is the picture of the panda. It's important that they all line up, right? So if this is question number 5, right, true or false, crocodiles have no sweat glands. Answer to that is, so the question's in index number 5 of this list. In the answer list, the answer is in index number 5. And in the picture list, the picture is in index number 5, okay? That's important. So do all that first and upload your 5 pictures here first. Then, okay, you've got to add a few more variables here. So you got to initialize global picture index. Let me zoom in so you guys can see these a little bit easier. Initialize global picture index. So call that picture index. And you're going to add a number, and you're going to make it 1. Initialize global question index, 1. Initialize global score, 0. Okay. To do this, you go to variables, grab initialize global, type it in, grab a math, grab a number, leave it as 0 if it's the score, or add a 1 if it's one of these. I'm going to delete this because this is an example. What these do is when this screen first opens up, when the quiz screen is first opened, it's going to set the picture to the picture in index 1. So it's going to set it to panda.jpg. It's going to set the question label to question index 1, okay, which is this question, boom, right? That goes along with the picture, all right? And then finally, it's going to set the score to 0 because they just started the application. The score should be 0. Here's the next thing. This is initialization. So to do this, I'm going to make it for you again to the next of this, but if you want to copy this, you can. To make this piece of code, you're going to go to Control. You're going to, no, you're going to go to Quiz Screen, my bad, Quiz Screen. you're going to find when quiz screen is initialized. And what initialize means when the quiz screen is opened up, right? Set question label.text to select item list, global questions list, index 1. Let's do that first. Our question label is right here. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to find question label.text. Set question label.text, boom, to, okay, select list, item list, and index. So go to list, find that one. There it is, select list, item list, and index. And what this is going to do, right, is it's going to set the question label text to one of those questions. And to get that, we're going to go to variables. We're going to grab get, and it's going to grab the question list. Okay, it's going to grab the question list, and it's going to be asking, right? So, okay, you want me to go to the question list, which is up here. What question do you want? We want question number 1, right? So all you got to do is index and set that to 1. Math, grab the 0, change it to 1. Pretty simple. Then we're going to correct label.text, right? Set correct label.text. So we're going to go to correct label. Set correct label.text to blank. Okay. So we're going to go to text. We're going to put this here, and I'm just going to leave it blank. So it won't tell them if they're correct or incorrect because they haven't even answered a question yet. So that's good. All right. Then we're going to do this one. What I suggest you do, click this one, Control C, Control V. There it is, set it underneath, change it to question image dot picture. I don't think you can do that. My bad. Delete this. I'm going to get this, delete this. I'm going to find question image over here, set question image picture, put it underneath there, and then slam that on there and change this to global picture list. And what this will do is it will set the image to the first picture in the picture list. Okay, so that's how you make that one. I don't need 2 of these, so I'm going to delete this example. All right, so that is the initialization, right? The next 2 pieces of code are a little complicated. So this one is for the answer button. This one is for the next button. I'm not going to go through and show you how to make these. All I really want you to do is copy these. Pay attention to the colors, pay attention to what they're called, and that's where you'll be able to find them, okay? The dark blue one is math stuff, so that's the equal symbol. You can find that here, okay? That's the plus one, right, with the plus symbol. You can go to math, and you can find that here. Any of the variable stuff, the orange stuff, you can find in the orange. And any of the pink stuff, you can find in the, or not pink, it's more of a magenta, I guess, dark purplish. It's not purple, whatever it is. It's in here, right? Join, boom. And then the colors, right, can be found in colors. So what this does, I'm just going to explain what it does, and you guys can just copy it. So answer button text, right? You're going to click on the answer button, and you're going to grab .click, and then you'll fill this in with this stuff. The if-then statement, right? So what it's going to do is it's going to check if the answer text that they put into their answer, right? That's the text box where they put their answer, is equal to what it says in the question index compared to the answer list index, okay? If it's true, it's going to tell them that they got it correct, right? So it's going to set the score to global score +1. It's going to set the score label to show that global score, to show that they got the point. It's going to set the correct label text to correct. It's going to make the correct label look green to show them that's correct, and it's going to make the next button pop up and let them click on the next button, okay? If they're wrong, right, so it's going to check it using this thing, right? So is their answer equal to the question index for the question they have? No, then it's going to do this. It's going to set the correct label.text to incorrect. It's going to set the correct label to red, and it's going to set the next button's background color to red to show them that it is not enabled and they can't go to the next button, okay, or the next question. So that's that one. The next thing is the next button. Okay, so again, you guys can find all this fun stuff in your blocks over here. First off, what happens when they click on the next button is it's going to, so the next button only becomes enabled if they get it correct. The next button dot enabled, first off, when they hit the next button, it's going to disable the next button so they can't skip a question. Then it's going to make the next button go gray so they can't click on it, and it's indicated to them they can't click on it anymore. It's going to set the question index to question index +1. So if it's on question 1, it'll go to question 2. If it's on question 2, it'll go to question 3, so on and so forth. It'll set the question label to the appropriate question, right? So it's changing the question index up here, and then it says, okay, now we have to change the actual label to show that question. And this is what does that, right? So it selects the list from the question list, and it references the index to figure out what question it's on. It'll set the global picture index to picture index +1, right? Because you're on the next question. It'll reset the picture using the variables again, and then it'll reset the correct label and the answer text. And then it starts all over again. So they'll see the next question, question number 2. Okay, get out of here. It'll make the answer, it'll figure out what the answer is, it'll reset the image, and then they will answer the question again. If they got it correct, great, it'll set the score and reset everything. If they didn't get it correct, it'll set it red and they'll have to try again. So I know this is pretty difficult. This is quite a lot of code here. Just do your best with it. We'll test it later, see if it works. If it doesn't work super bad, super good, don't worry about it. I have this finished for you already, worst case scenario. All right, so just work on it, get it done, and get creative with it. And if you got questions, let me know.